You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
Welcome to another edition of the OHL in 60 podcast with Colin Ward. I'm Reece Doumani. BC is in the clouds working on all the technical stuff, making sure we sound and not necessarily look awesome because it's tough to fix us. But
you got an ad on that might cause
all right, says the guy wearing a $20 piece of crap. So, all right, there you go.
Ohio State, the world famous, the national champion, the Ohio State Buckeyes. I love it. Gus Johnson, the best intro in college football. I love it.
Right. Hail to the victors, valiant, hail to the conquer. Man, what is your fight song? Every fight song's boring compared to Michigan's.
We can play it. We can play it at the break.
Nah.
Play it out of the break.
Nah, we're good. Big show this week for the OHL in 60. A big Monday drop that got Colin Ward up at 10 to 7 in the morning and got me up at about 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Jett Luchanko is off to Brantford. So we'll talk about that. Jett Luchanko going to the Brantford Bulldogs, not the Windsor Spitfires. His bags are not packed and ready to be left at the WASP Center on Sunday. So, we'll discuss that. Of course, that's the latest trade by the Brantford Bulldogs. And then, of course, there were some other trades that happened before then. We'll touch on those as well. Sarnia Sting make an addition to the coaching staff, and by that I mean they've got a new head coach. So we'll get into that. Guelph Storm hosting the 2027 Memorial Cup, in quotes, upsetting Kitchener. Although I don't think it's as big of an upset as people think it is.
No.
So we'll touch on that and why we think Guelph is a good spot. I mean, we're going to give a huge shout out to Tony Saxon from Guelph today with the article, essentially how the Guelph Storm won the bid and won the chance to host the 2027 Memorial Cup, because it's actually a really awesome article. Had a chance to read it on Monday. We'll get to the standout players of the week, and then Dragusica to kick off segment number 2. The penalty has been handed down. Our thoughts on it, and I think it's pretty well in line with what we were thinking. A topic that was on the agenda last week, but we had a few things to discuss, so we pushed it back. We're going to touch on the OHL draft being in person in Kingston, and then, of course, we get to our power rankings from the OHL. Colin Ward, let's start with the big news of the day.
Yeah.
Jett Luchanko is a Brantford Bulldog, and with some speculation of him going to Windsor being false, and him moving with Charlie Paquette being false, it's just Jett Luchanko on the move to Brantford. Lane Gallagher, along with Kitchener's second in 2027, Sudbury's second in 2028, Brantford's third in 2029, and Brampton's fifth in 2029. I have a really good feeling that those will not be Guelph Storm picks by the time the 2027, 2028, and 2029 drafts roll around. But Colin, Jett Luchanko, just another first rounder in the NHL that's going to join the Brantford Bulldogs, and a guy that just slides right into the top 6. Unfortunately, someone will have to get pushed down. It's just the way it happens. But how do you see this trade unfolding right now for the Bulldogs?
I mean, it's a good deal for both sides. Luchanko, obviously 13th overall pick by Philly in 2024, first rounder. I mean, I don't know. The goals for 2 goals on the year. Brantford needs a goal scorer, so you get one of the assist leaders in the Ontario Hockey League. It's a great pickup for both sides. Lane Gallagher is going to be a stud for Guelph. I think Gallagher has been the most improved player on the Bulldogs this year. I've said that numerous times on the record about Gallagher's play this year. He's their top face player. He's on the fourth line. That line drove pace for the Bulldogs. Ended on the second line with Dennis and Malhotra before he got injured. With Gallagher going to Guelph, it's a great opportunity. He's going to be their second line center, I would assume, later on when he gets back and gets healthy for the rest of the season, or depending what the circumstances are, what they do at the deadline still for Guelph. But great ad for both sides. Obviously, Luchanko, I mean, another first-round pick goes to Brantford. You got 5 of them. You look at the power play now. We talked about this on the Dogcast this week. I think Luchanko kind of slots into that spot that Malhotra's on. Malhotra makes your second unit a little bit stronger. You probably go Malhotra, McHugh, Testa, Dennis, Dravetsky runs it on the point. Top unit, you put Luchanko in that spot. Down at the half wall at the line, you go Luchanko, Van Acker, O'Brien, Banach, Juracek. I think it's a great. I think. I mean, the 41.1% power play got better. I think it's a good ad for both sides. I think Brantford needed a forward. I don't think they're, but I don't think by any means they're done. I don't think Guelph's done. So I think it's exciting times for both teams in different directions. Obviously, with the Mem Cup, with the Guelph Storm, you're going to have to change that direction. It also is interesting to see what the Kitchener Rangers do off that, right? I know it's a side question, and we'll probably get to that in the Mem Cup talk, but it'd be interesting to see what the Rangers do now. What do they pivot? I mean, it hasn't been the best of starts in the standings for Kitchener. Obviously, they're in the playoffs, but you kind of got to get hot if you're the Rangers. As we have a month going to the deadline, you're in the 6th spot. Like, you got to get hot, and you got to pick a time now, right? I mean, you're preparing for next year, but is this year the year now with some of the guys that they have aging out and moving on? But all in all, great deal for both sides. Brantford gets better for sure. I mean, it's been a great start. I mean, this week for the Bulldogs was definitely better than it was the week before. The week before, as everyone knew, I was critical on here about them. I don't think they were playing their best hockey. And then this past week comes, you outscore the opposing team too. The shutout in Niagara. Like, I think that those are the games that you wanted to see out of the Bulldogs. You had Luchanko, it's a great ad. World Junior time, I mean, they're going to struggle, but I don't think it's as bad as it thinks. I mean, I don't think everyone is going to be gone. We discussed this before. I don't think every single Canadian that's on their team that's going to get the invite is going to make Canada. Like, you look at the roles you got to play, right? Like, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, well, and you think about it, you would think first-round picks in the NHL are automatic locks for Team Canada. Jett Luchanko, I think, is because he's a returning guy. I think that's kind of that's not even a conversation. Danford, I think, would be a lock for Team Canada. Then you go into they have a good chance to make the club, but we don't know if they'll be on it. Jake O'Brien's, who's an 18-year-old, Merrick Van Acker, 19-year-old, so it's his last year of eligibility, which this is the second year in a row that you're probably going to have a Bulldog, or probably have the leading scorer in the OHL heading into World Junior invite time being on the Bulldogs, right? Last year we were talking about Nick Lardis. He doesn't go for Team Canada. This year it's Merrick Van Acker. Well, we'll see if he makes it. So. And then you think about the back end again. I mentioned Danford, but Owen Protz, does he get an invite? Does he make the team? Who knows? It's not a guaranteed lock that he is. Great player, great defender. Again, my pick for Defenseman of the Year in the Ontario Hockey League. Now that Dickinson's no longer in the conversation, but does he make Team Canada? Is he a fit for Dale Hunter and Mark Hunter and what they want to do? So yeah, and then you think of the Czechs. I think all 3 are gone. Banach and Juracek have to be locks for Team Czechia. Dravetsky, 17-year-old. I wouldn't consider him a lock, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he's the 7th or 8th defenseman for Team Czechia. Like, he gets in against a Kazakhstan or a Germany or Latvia, like one of those lower tier teams that might be in the conversation for the relegation round. Again, that's no knock at any country, but we know how well they do at the World Juniors in the top division, and it's not very well. So you think about that and the impact that this has on the Bulldogs lineup. Yes, it's unfortunate, but you're going to see David Buckman come back up, who's a first rounder for the Bulldogs this past OHL priority selection. I would imagine Gavin Christie comes up and plays his 9 games. For people saying that Karmanov's going to come up, it's not going to happen. The Bulldogs have their 3 import cards taken, whether they're playing for the Bulldogs or not. They've signed Banach, Juracek, and Dravetsky to the import cards, which means Karmanov will not play for the Brantford Bulldogs. So that's out of the question. You think Joey Banis, who we saw make his Bulldogs debut on Friday against Sarnia, Ryan Chamberlain, who played 20 games with Sarnia before getting dealt to the Brantford Bulldogs, made his Bulldogs debut on Thursday in Niagara. You have to imagine those 2 guys immediately move in. They've got 8 games left as they're not on A cards in the Ontario Hockey League and with the Brantford Bulldogs. So those are guys that you're going to see step into the lineup and fill in while these guys are away. And we've been saying it, Colin. We have a Bulldogs show on the Bulldogs Audio Network. Yes, we cover them on a regular basis, but we're not stupid. Like we're realists. The Bulldogs are going to lose this year in regulation. It's going to happen. It's probably going to happen between December 10th/11th to mid-January, like just before the trade deadline. So I think this is, and I heard Spencer Hyman say it while he was talking to Jeff Merrick, that let's get him in. Let's get him into Brantford. Let's get him used to being a home player at the Civic Center. Not that Guelph came very often, but let's get him into the system. Let's get him into the team. Get him acquainted with a lot of the guys, and let's get this started before he does leave for a month and a half, and then he comes back and he's ready to go. So
it's big for Guelph too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big for Guelph too. For Guelph, I mean, you get Gallagher, lower body injury week to week. Those are times where you rehab, you come back. It's exciting to see for Gallagher too, to get in the system as well. Go through the training staff, go through the doctors, all the requirements in Guelph with the physicals too, right? And for Guelph, you're prepping for next season now. And I think Gallagher, you just got your best face-off man for next year. And I know the deal is what it is. And it's funny, you see a lot of the comments and the consensus online is that's all they got for Luchanko. I expected more.
Yeah.
But the deal, like this deal, not to get too Bulldog centric on you, but it feels last year this deal was done, but ownership took it over. It feels like last year at the trade deadline, I know general manager at the time, Matt Tick, wanted to get this deal done. There was a deal done. It was vetoed. Ownership, there's an article in Guelph about that. Ownership steps in. There was no deal. This year, it sounded like the Bulldogs, it started talks in the summer when the trade window opened. But when that happened, you didn't know what the status was going to be. Luchanko, when he was going to be back. He comes back. Then obviously this morning, get the phone call from Spencer early with that. And that's just the way she goes. I mean, great deal for both sides. Bulldogs side to finally get the deal done. For Guelph, honestly, to finally get the deal done. Guelph, I mean, once the Mem Cup came out, you knew this deal was going to be close, and you knew that they had to get the deal done. And move for next year, and especially last week when you saw that feature in Guelph with the Mem Cup. And like you look, where's Luchanko? Like,
and that's the thing. Like these phone calls were ongoing, right? It's not like there was complete silence on Jett Luchanko. People were calling. Spencer Hyman on the record talking with Jeff Merrick said, once Luchanko came back, we were doing our due diligence. We were checking in. We were making calls. So, it's not like this was a quiet situation. And then over the weekend, it's like, hey, we'll offer you this and you can have Jett Luchanko. It's like, well, no, it was going on. Like you said, Colin, for, 10 months since last year's deadline when Matt Turk was still around and still the general manager of the Bulldogs. This wasn't out of the blue. So there were phone calls exchanged by Spencer Hyman and George Burnett and to finally get this deal done. And again, to your point about this being, really, that's it for Jett Luchanko. Let's not forget that Patrick Babin was also sent to the Guelph Storm earlier on this year. he's also a
bigger
guy
deal,
that's going to
too.
be a really big part of the Guelph Storm team next year. He'll be an 18-year-old defender who excelled at the junior B level last year. Really didn't get an opportunity for regular minutes this year because, well, look at the Bulldogs blue line. Whereas in Guelph, he's going to get every opportunity to learn this year, and then next year they're probably going to expect big things out of Babin as an 18-year-old defender. So that is also part of this. It was essentially a what's the right word? A pre-trade before the trade, much like Colin. You compare it to Bedkowski and the Barlow trades last year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think this deal like I say, both sides is a good deal, and it's on to the next. It's nice that both teams can move forward, especially for Guelph. You're hosting the M Cup. It's a tough move to make, but it's nice that when teams can make a move like that and help them out in future aspects.
Yep, absolutely. Other trades to get you caught up on if you missed them: Sarnia and Erie hooking up for a deal. These two teams played each other this weekend also, by the way. But Tyler Challenger to the Sarnia Sting, Case Kamzik to the Erie Otters. Colin Ward, how do you see this trade going down for each team?
Love this deal. So it's funny, I was getting ripped before the show about my power rankings, but there's why I have an analysis on every single trade that took place. And I have no ties to my power rankings, by the way. Spoiler alert. But
man, neither do I.
Hey, how are you gonna catch me?
Nah, we're done with that.
Yeah. No, I like this deal for both sides. Erie, you're getting a Pennsylvania kid in Case. He's a Pennsylvania kid. You get to go home. You get an opportunity, right? And that's one of the big things in a lot of this year. There's been so many trades. I think the deadline is going to be boring or it's going to be crazy with all the moves that's happened. And I think you get a Pennsylvania native for Erie. You get an opportunity, you get more people in the game. You have as Brandon says in the comment section, 10th overall pick with Challenger. Yep. But I think for the Erie side to start, and we've seen this trade a lot this year, opportunity elsewhere. And I know poor Zach Wilson again on the move, but I think that these are the moves that opportunity is so important. And Erie, Sarnia, two teams that are struggling, two players that when you look at the way they're playing, they just need a fresh start. You watch their games, need a fresh start. You go to Erie, you need to create energy. That's important. And then Tyler Challenger, as you can see now on your screen on YouTube for those watching on the stream, Challenger, I mean, same thing. It's a great opportunity to get a fresh start. You look at last year, right? Your rookie season, you're the 10th overall pick. You get 10 points in 63 games. You come out this year, Reece, you get 2 in 23. Opportunity is a big thing. And the new coach, and Turcotte just had him last week as part of one of his players. Along with Lorio, he had Edwards. So I think it fits the mold. 6'2", 202, fits a Sarnia Sting body type for sure. They have a certain way they play, and I think that's I like this. I like this move. I just think for Sarnia, you got to play your young kids more. When you have a top 5 pick in Lehman's as a non-playoff team, and you're only playing them 1 to 2 shifts a period, I don't think that's a good look when you're one of the worst teams right now in the Ontario Hockey League, and you're playing a kid. You're a 16-year-old, a top 5 pick in the Ontario Hockey League draft, and you're only playing them 1 to 2 shifts a period on a not good team right now. I don't agree with that. I hope with the new coaching staff, that's kind of the thing that comes in. Play the young guys. I've been saying it forever with the Red Wings. If the Red Wings aren't going to be good, play the young guys. Who cares? I'd rather lose with those guys getting experience than veterans that aren't going to be here next year. So Challenger's going to get a chance to play. He's going to be here. Play Lamons more, play these young guys more, these top picks, play them. I know Erie last year had a decent year, but why? You draft a kid in the top 10, top 5, obviously for Challenger, top 10, 10th overall. Play the kids, play them. Those 3 and 3s, man, we got to see more balanced out minutes. That's gonna be my pet peeve next, probably next week on the show. That'll be my pet peeve.
Next week's Be Better segment. Make sure you tune in Tuesday night, 7:00.
Yeah, I think with I don't understand why these teams. I mean, hey, look at London. Look at London. I know here we go. Ice Dogs fans, I'm sorry, but you look at the London Knights. I know the deal happened with Wasson. Wasson's playing a lot of minutes. He's an 08. Look at the amount of 08s that are playing all for London. And at the deadline, I think London sells. I mean, the logical decision would be to sell in London, trade off guys like O'Reilly, get picks for them, and keep building off this 08 core, and then have 2-3 years again where you can be a legit contender over what's it going to be this year. I think you look at the London Knights, there's a reason why they're always good. You look what they're doing with their 08s. They're building a core of 08s. We saw this song and dance a few years ago. Easton Cowan, Kamoka. Oliver Bonk was in St. Thomas. Denver Murky had spurts with the Knights. Like, you look at them, that core. You see this team again. Wasslin, Crete. You look at the guys they have, these 08s.
Howry.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are we doing? Like, teams should be adapting and adopting these strategies that other teams do. Honestly, like, if something's working for another team, why don't we copy that? Why isn't it a copycat league? Just because they're doing it, don't hold a grudge because you don't like the London Knights. Like, I know it works in different ways in the systems, but my pet peeve this week, man, if you draft a kid that high, we're quitting after 1 year on them, and we're not even playing. Like, I don't like like Sarnia, their new coaching staff, man. I cannot wait to see what they do. I wish they were in Brantford this week instead of last week, because Lamons has to play more. He's a top 5 pick. You're playing him. That's bottom line, in my opinion.
Which, congrats to him. He scored, not his hometown, close enough, but he scored in Brantford on Friday, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. You put so much stock into a guy to take him in the first round. Like, it just kind of seems a little stupid, especially a team that's in jeopardy of missing the playoffs for a third straight year.
What do they have to lose?
Exactly.
It's been a heck of a year.
Next up, the Sudbury Wolves grab a goaltender from the Windsor Spitfires, Paolo Frasca. By the way, for people watching us on YouTube, shout out to those pads and that setup, because that looks awesome.
Yeah, Victoria Grizzlies.
Yeah, I love it. The Spitfires receiving a 2026 conditional 15th round pick that was originally Niagara's, along with a 5th round pick in 2029 that was originally Owen Sound's. That also a conditional 5th round pick. Colin Ward, you said it before we started the show. The Wolves grabbed their 9th goaltender of the year. Just kidding. It's not their 9th goalie. But we saw Finn Marshall. He committed out west, so he's no longer in Sudbury. So Frasca, now a member of the Sudbury Wolves organization, and what are they getting in Mr. Frasca?
Well, they're giving up conditional picks. That's something inside the OHL. It's a hot topic. Conditional picks. Wow. But who would have thought? What are those? But I mean, you're getting a goalie. You need a goalie, I guess. Like, teams that don't prioritize goaltending always needs goaltending. Even when one fell in their lap, Pekka Luukkonen, that was like the last one, in my opinion, that was an actual goalie for the Sudbury Wolves. No offense, but I just think it's facts. Marshall leaves. You got to get a goalie. I mean, what Wolves, right? Like, what are the Sudbury Wolves? I think they're building their team now for post-deadline, what their core is going to be. Get guys in now before the Villeneuves are gone, before the Waltons are gone. Get guys in now. Maybe you string some wins together, and you see what happens. But, yeah, BCHL, Frasco's of Victoria. He's got the name of an OHLer, so that's something. But, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. And I will say, in the graphic, a lot more athletic looking than Brassard was. One of their last ones that I remember in recent memory. And so that's all right. But yeah, no, we'll see what happens. I mean, if you're Sudbury, you had to do it. Hope they don't go crazy and buy at the deadline. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how this plays out.
Well, and yeah, I mean, we're kind of seeing the effects of them buying at the deadline last year when they probably shouldn't have. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. But the Sarnia Sting have their next bench boss. It is Matthew Turcotte, who has been announced as the organization's next head coach. He's got experience in the Q, especially with Hockey Canada, as well as some development programs. So
recently.
he was recently the head coach of Blainville Brobrillant. I think I said that right. The Armada. I think it's Armada. For the 2023, 2024, and 24-25 seasons. So also with
Drummondville time in Quebec this was summer, Reece.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Drummondville, Chicoutimi, and Val d'Or, he's also been a part of. So I don't know. That was probably a really bad French.
No, I'm
imitation.
loving this.
You're loving it? Oh man,
I think you're doing great.
No,
you're doing great.
Say it. Holy crap.
Delhi Rat.
No comment. Jeez, man, this show's going downhill this week. Oh my god,
it's the dog days in November.
But no, I don't know. Like, I just think some of the uniforms in the Q are awesome. Like, they're just a lot different than we're used to seeing. So I don't know. I like a lot of the Q uniforms and the Q names. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. But just a little bit of a quick quote here from GM Dylan Sika. He says, and you can read this on the OHL website in the article, but goes on to say that Matthew is an exceptional communicator and a proven developer of young talent, and his vision for how the game should be played aligns perfectly with the direction of our organization. And of course, Turcotte is a former Hockey Canada coach, gold medal in the U17, U18 World Championships. Coaching experience at the Linka tournament as well. So, I mean, there's no place to go but up right now for the Sarnia Sting, right? I'm not saying playoffs are out of the question by any means. It is November, even though I'll be at the end of November, but it's hard to see this team having home ice in round one. So right now, I think it's just you got to get into the playoffs. Right now, if you're the Sarnia Sting, right? But you can't go anywhere but up if you're in Sarnia.
I think you got to develop. I think it goes hand in hand. What we just mentioned in the last segment, you got to play guys. You got to develop a good young coach. Obviously, this year with the Ivan Olenka Gretzky tournament as well with Turcotte, Hockey Canada experience is huge in this. He has a lot of young talent. He's been really good at the U18 level as well as we saw now with Hockey Canada. I think I think that's big. I think for the Sting, you just want to play your best hockey. And what is their best hockey, right? Like, you've lost 5 in a row. You're 2-6-1-1 your last 10. When's it going to click, right? When's it going to click? Their special teams is not horrible, to be honest. Their special teams is a playoff team. It's a 7th, 8th team in the conference. But I think right now you just got to focus on playing your best hockey. What is the best hockey the Sting can possibly play and see where it goes, right? And you got to get the minutes evened out. Maybe not evened out, but you got to get the proper minutes out there and see what happens. But Sarnia's got a lot to improve on, Rick. I don't like.
Here's a question for you, Wardy. Do they take Peterborough's approach and just spread out the minutes no matter what?
No, not that bad, because you have guys in draft years like Diorio. I just think you got to reward guys that play good. I think guys that have success, like I say, Friday night, Lamon scores a goal. What does he play? One shift after that? Like, it's the second period. He scores a goal. Why don't we give him an extra couple shifts, right? Why don't we reward him? And that's kind of the angle I'm coming from. Like, you got evening the minutes is a struggle too, because when you even the minutes, then you have bad games happen. Like, then you create a lot of havoc. And they have a lot of good young talent. I just think they got to balance out their top 6. I think they have better candidates in their 4 to 6 forwards than they do their currently there right now. And I just think that these young players have earned their stripes and they've earned their keeps to be promoted in the lineup. Like, Iorio, Edwards, those guys are going to be guys. I'm excited to see how Challenger looks as well in that lineup for them. We'll see, but great opportunity for guys. And I think you got to reward guys that are playing well on a team that is struggling in the standings, right? You never know what happens. Lamons plays in the top 6 next game, has a big night, and the Sting can rattle off 3-4 wins in a row. Then all of a sudden, what happens? like then you're in a playoff spot, and then like your season changes. That's kind of where I'm coming from with that.
From young guys potentially getting more ice time in Sarnia, we're going to move to some old guys or oldish guys, middle-aged guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to call them old because they're not really old. Yeah, Jeff Carter looks awesome.
Yeah, he looks in great shape.
Yeah, better shape than I'm in. Better shape than I've ever been in, probably.
Same here.
But he was honored in Sault Ste. Marie this past weekend, so congratulations to him getting his jersey raised to the rafters in Sault Ste. Marie. Of course, you can see that Guelph logo there on that graphic that was clipped by BC. That is obviously not correct because Jeff Carter was a Sault Ste. Marie Greyhound. So congratulations to him, and then to Dustin Brown, who got his number raised to the rafters in Guelph in what was a heck of a weekend for the Guelph Storm. So, immediately his number's going to get shown off right away. Well, in a year and a half, I guess, at the Memorial Cup in 2027. But saw the video of Dustin Brown going into the locker room and reading the lineup, which is always cool to see. I remember seeing Connor McDavid do that last year in Erie, which was cool to see. So congratulations to Dustin Brown as well, as his number is raised to the rafters at the Sleeman Center. I would say a little bit bigger news, but not by much for the Guelph Storm organization, but they have won the right to host the 2027 Memorial Cup, beating out the Kitchener Rangers for this honor. I shouldn't say beating out the Kitchener Rangers. That's probably the wrong way to put that. But pretty cool to see the Guelph Storm get it again. They were, not by betting odds, but probably by everybody on social media to not be favored in the Memorial Cup sweepstakes. But good on Guelph for putting together one heck of a bid, Colin, and
100%.
Essentially,
it was impressive.
There are people have said that they've stolen this from the Kitchener Rangers.
Absolutely. I mean, they went out and won it, right? Like they took it, and I think that for Guelph, it's great for their city. Obviously, the fans in our Twitter poll last week, they wanted Kitchener, majority 54% of the votes in favor of Kitchener, 45 in favor of Guelph. I'm excited for Guelph. I really am. I think for Guelph, the downtown factor really gets me excited. Over Kitchener. I love the odd. I really do. I said earlier on this week's Dogcast on the Bulldogs Audio Network, I mentioned that the Kitchener gets me excited to go to those games. I like the odd. It's one of the best spots to watch a junior hockey game.
Yeah.
You look at Guelph, and Guelph, they did a little bit of a run out to their building. I'm sure they're going to do a little bit more. I like the capabilities. All the talk online, the Guelph Storm are really taking advantage of that hockey at the mall this week.
I love it.
They posted on Monday. Like, I take advantage of that. And honestly, I think for the business side of things, that could be incredible. Like the pop-up shops, like the opportunity in that could be incredible for the Guelph Storm and the CHL, I guess, for this matter. Like, downtown area in Guelph is going to be incredible for the games. Like, I think it's a great idea. I love the parking situation in Guelph. I know there's a lot of people that can complain about the parking situation. I don't think parking thing. I know the parking in Kitchener is incredible, but Guelph is pretty good as well. Like, they got the 3-4 garages right there. Like, I think that's great. I'm really excited to see what Guelph can do with this event. Congrats to the Storm.
Yeah.
Second time hosting. I know last week. Then again, I was 4 years old when they hosted it in 2002, so I forgot about that. But second time they're hosting it, I think it's going to be great for the Storm.
Hey, good year, 2002. Best team of all time in the NHL, won the Stanley Cup, the 2002 Detroit Red Wings. And I mean, for Guelph, like, if you don't like the parking situation in Guelph, the transit hub's right there. Go Station, Via Station,
it's all there.
It's right there. And then you can walk over. I know. Oh, but transit's not convenient. They run on a schedule. I'm sure the city of Guelph is going to find a way to make buses a little bit more frequent during this Memorial Cup, but I'm sure they'll find a way to have shuttles from somewhere. Like, they've got restaurant partners, the Guelph Storm. They do watch parties at restaurants around the city of Guelph. I'm sure there's somewhere that they can set up what's the right word? A shuttle bus from one of the restaurants to the
100%.
arena. They could definitely do that. So
I saw too that they announced. I don't know for Guelph, but they announced in Kitchener-Waterloo the GO train on weekend to Union.
Well, that's the Kitchener line. Yep. Guelph's the last stop before Kitchener on the Kitchener line. So
there we go. That's perfect too, right? Like, time the game comes, you can come from the city. Like, it'll be easier to get to a game in Guelph than it will be in Brampton. For no pun intended to Brampton, but like with the GO train, like it'll be easier with the transit going there. I mean, Mississauga, that was a problem before. So I think it's great. Like, I'm really excited to see what Guelph can do. I think that it's going to be cool. I think obviously it doesn't matter. Media was going to be there either way, Kitchener, Guelph. But being in Ontario, I think the biggest thing is the right. Like, it's so easy. I know it's a touchy subject, but it's easy for TSN to get to Guelph, to get to Kitchener from Toronto or Scarborough, I guess, instead of BC, Alberta, wherever, like Q or the dub. But I think it's going to be exciting. I'm thrilled that Guelph gets it. I'm bummed for Kitchener at the same time, but for Guelph, I think that this is the opportunity they've been waiting for a long time. Kitchener, if it's not the Rangers, it's the London Knights. Guelph to be able to get this opportunity is huge.
Yeah,
and they're 200th year as well.
Yeah, that's cool too. The bicentennial, absolutely. That's awesome. And I'm not going to read all of this. I don't want to ruin it. It's a really great article by Tony Saxon from Guelph Today. I encourage everybody go read this article because it actually gives a lot of insight on what the Storm plan to do and kind of something that some tidbits that help the Guelph Storm win the bid and win the chance to host the Memorial Cup. So, I mean, I love this line. I'm going to read this directly from it. So he goes, the 4-man, 1-woman group, a mix of event, business, and hockey backgrounds, entered an empty Sleeman Center early of that afternoon, of course, when they went and visited the Sleeman Center for the rink portion of the tour and were hit with a smell familiar to anyone in Canada that has ever spent time in a rink of any size or place. Fresh popcorn, which you walk into. There are OHL arenas that you walk into and you can close your eyes or blindfold yourself. You walk in and immediately you can smell where you are. And I mean, that might sound really bad. But Guelph, fresh popcorn for sure. Kitchener, you've got the roasted nuts at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. Like it's just something. I wonder if Kitchener didn't put that smell or didn't have that going when they came in toward the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. They didn't have the roasted nuts, peanut smell going. Maybe that's why they lost. I don't know why. But I thought that was really cool to kind of start off the tour. Like, you want, and it seems like they really tried to make it like, the Memorial Cup is next week. We're already set up for it. That's kind of what this article tells me. He goes on to say that they had a sign on one of the doors that said QMJHL champion. This would be their dressing room. Where the media room would be. It looks like it's in a different spot where it usually is, because where the usual media room is
small.
Yeah, that can't accommodate a Memorial Cup group
Very
of media.
Small.
So it sounds like there's a whole media section that's going to be added to the Sleeman Center for this event. They invited former Guelph Storm players for the rink tour and for kind of the presentation that they were putting together. It looks like they're going to have a big, this might be my favorite part of it. They are actually going to very much incorporate the mall, which they should.
Absolutely.
I hope that cafe's open, because every time, Colin, we go, it seems like it's not open.
Closed. I know it's closed last
whether
year.
we get there late. BC, whenever he was there with the Ice Dogs, he was open. He was raving about it. So, that sounds like a great spot to hit if you go there. Did he comment?
Especially now that I drink coffee.
Best iced coffee. All right. Okay. All right.
Owen Sound best fries. Guelph best iced coffee. Press box, right. Guelph.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Now that we're upstairs at the Civic Center, for sure. But
it was cold.
We were down at ice level. Nothing rivaled that. But Guelph's cold. I will say that. But this sounds really cool. What they're gonna do and what they're gonna bring to to Guelph for the Memorial Cup. It sounds awesome. Like they're gonna have a big screen in that mall and have a viewing of the games. That's awesome. Again, I encourage you go read this article by Tony Saxon on Guelph today because it gives a really good insight and an idea of how they were able to win over the committee and also what some of the plans are for the tournament in 2027.
Yeah, they went out and won this bid. I mean, their approach was unbelievable, right? Like the little fine details win you events like this, and it sounds like that's what they did. And CHL brass and the voters or the committee, they must have blown their socks off seeing this approach from Guelph. I mean, it was incredible. By the sounds of it, it sounds like amazing.
Yeah, and in quotes, it really resonated with the selection committee, so that's cool to see as well. Before we hit the break, we've got players of the week to go through for you.
The city.
Starting with the player of the week, Colin Ward's going to be all over this. Colin, you can announce this one. Go for it.
All right, from the great city of the Delhi, Ontario, the city of Delhi, Chicago Blackhawk first round pick, Merrick. From the Delhi, Ontario, Van Acker. 6 points in 2 games for Merrick. +5 rating, 3 goals, 3 assists. Not good enough for the Cy Young. A shorthanded goal in Niagara Thursday night. Big power play goal on Friday against the Sarnia Sting. Merrick Van Acker, well-deserving player of the week from a great, great city, the Delhi, Ontario. Gotta love it. Great for the city, man. The city's on the rise. Great to see. So, very exciting for Merrick. I mean, his game's evolved this year. He's starting to play a little better. Obviously, the hat trick against Niagara. Thanks, BC. I know you wanted to hear that.
BC was very happy you were not in attendance for that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? One Delhi guy, but you imagine having 2 Delhi guys. I mean, their owner's a Delhi guy. You imagine having 2 Delhi guys, one getting a hat trick, and I'm right beside you, BC. That's got to be like going to an all-inclusive on a nice tropical island. Like, that's got to be a dream of yours. That must have been thrilling.
Is it all sunshines and rainbows? You guys are losing a hockey team in Delhi. The Flames moving on to the capital of Norfolk County, Simcoe.
They're not. They're not moving.
Delhi Flames? You said they were moving last week.
No, I didn't. Simcoe's getting a team, but Delhi's not moving.
You did.
No, Delhi is not moving. Simcoe's getting an expansion team. But,
oh, geez.
Yeah, no, rivalry week.
Colin Ward, the play-by-play man for rivalry week. Simcoe and Delhi.
Oh, that'd be unbelievable. You imagine that? Delhi all day.
Hey, I got a quick question for you before we get to the goaltender of the week. How's the Barbarito doing in Delhi?
Never been there. Never been there. But no, it's great. Great for Merrick. Good week. Got to keep it going.
Easton Rise, the OHL goaltender of the week in a couple of games. He had a perfect record of 2-0, 1.5 goals against average, save percentage of .952, making 60 saves in the process. So congratulations to him. OHL rookie of the week. We're going to go back to the Brantford Bulldogs. It is the captain of Team CHL in the the current, you could say, CHL USA Prospect Challenge out west. Caleb Malhotra in a couple of games, 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points, and was a +2 as the Bulldogs continued to remain undefeated in regulation after wins over Niagara and Sarnia. And then the prospect of the week, London Knights prospect. We're going to stay in London. The London Nationals, Alex Campo, 2 goals and 2 assists for 4 points in 2 games for the London Nationals, who I keep forgetting they have a revamped logo. It's now the train.
I like London, this logo.
Way better. Way better. Enough with the Leafs colors that just brings on losing. They're in last. Like, let's not even worry about that.
Bottom feeders.
So,
man, especially with the train station right down the road from the arena, like from the fairgrounds, and literally the train's going by there every 5 minutes from their arena. That's cool. Exactly. I love the logo change and the jersey, like just the rebrand's incredible.
Yeah. So congratulations to Alex on that achievement. And for us, that means we're gonna head to break. When we come back, Dragusica gets the hammer from the Ontario Hockey League. We will discuss that. The OHL in-person draft returns to Kingston and the power rankings. That's all coming up next here on the OHL in 60 podcast.
Butt ends are hockey stick grips, specifically for the top of the stick, designed to replace traditional clock tape. They're made of rubber and offer a more consistent and comfortable grip than tape, aiming to improve performance and reduce slippage. Butt ends are an alternative to regular stick tape that provide enhanced grip and comfort, are durable, reusable, and consistent, with the ability to reduce vibration. The grips are available in a variety of styles, designs, colors, and even have options for specific player names. At Butt Ends, they are committed to providing the world's highest quality stick grips and continue to bring new technology and ideas with each new grip design, regardless of sport. Alex Petrangelo, Akil Thomas, Max Domi, Aiden Hill, and Tim Stutzla are just a name of few who have proudly used Butt Ends for peak performance at the NHL level. Check them out at buttendswithaz.com and use our referral code buttends.com/discount/armchairgm to get 10% off your order as part of our community. Engineered for greatness and performance. Butt Ends, the #1 grip in hockey.
Fourth Wall is the official merchandise supplier of the Armchair GM Sports Network. Our user-friendly site is print to order with no minimum items or inventory needed, shipped right to your doorstep safely and efficiently from their North American warehouse. All of our logos are available to supporters, listeners, and viewers can have the best variety available to them for their swag preferences. All items are priced as low as possible, allowing everybody who wants to support our business with the opportunity to do so, receiving quality and comfortable products in return. Shop today at fourthwall.com with the direct link to our Armchair merch store in the description of all episodes and in the bio of all of our social media accounts. Become an Armchair GM today with Fourth Wall.
You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
Welcome back to the OHL in 60 podcast with Colin Ward. I'm Reece Doumani. Right off the top here in segment number 2, we got the decision. Now, I thought we were going to get it early this week. It turns out we got it late last week on Friday, kind of expecting it to not be at the same time or same date as the Memorial Cup announcement. So the OHL might have been waiting for that. Like I said, that kind of made me think, oh, maybe it'll be Monday or Tuesday of this week. And knowing our luck, it was going to be Tuesday. But thankfully, it was Friday, so we can talk about it on this week's show. But Luke Dragusica gets the entire season plus playoffs, if the Steelheads make the playoffs, of course, as part of his suspension for the baseball swing, I guess is the best way to put it. And then the cross-check into the back to make good, for good measures. But rumor has it that he is appealing. I haven't seen anything officially said that he is appealing it, but I've seen a couple of people throw it out there that he will be appealing it, that he will be appealing this suspension. But Colin Ward, I think we talked about it last week. Yeah, I mean, this is right in line where I thought it was going to be. I think it lines up with yourself as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't play the rest of the year. It's the right call. The appeal is what it is. I don't think it's going to be successful by any means, but I think that it's the right call. You had to make a statement here. We saw this year with a stick, not as dangerous as this variety, but it's the second bad time we've saw this season. This is the worst one by far. You had to do this. This is something that can't be in the game, and it was the right decision. And all the best. And let's move on.
Yeah, now he does have to go through some off-ice stuff before he is able to come. Yeah, I was going to say that. I think you had mentioned that.
You have to.
That he should have to go through some sort of, whether it's counseling or courses, whatever the case might be, in order to come back.
Oh, absolutely, it has to happen. 100%. This has to be. It has to be a thing. This is something that you never see in the game. You don't want to see it in the game. It's not part of the game, and this is something that had to take place, right? How many times in our lifetime do you see a play to this magnitude, right? Maybe once every 5 years. It doesn't happen a lot. When it does, it's unfortunate, and you got to learn from your mistakes, right? And there's the opportunity to learn from it. So on the up, and then it's time to move on for Dragusica, and learn off your mistakes. Like, you have a long time to fill in, right? Like, a long time to learn, and all the best.
Yeah. To be a little bit more specific, as listed in the article, as part of this sanction, Dragusica will be required to complete a league-mandated education, counseling, and community service program and appear before a reinstatement panel before being eligible to apply for reinstatement for the 2026-2027 season. So that's essentially what he'll have to go through. And we're not going to really go further into this. We've kind of already talked about it last week. We got angry a little bit. We got a little bit fired up, maybe more than we probably should have. But it's just something that, and in the words of the OHL in this, it's a dangerous and unacceptable act that has no place in the OHL, and they're not wrong. So,
Yep.
So I mean, it just unfortunate. You're right. You just hope he learns from this. I don't want to take the game away from him. The OHL is not doing that, obviously, except for this year. But he does have to apply for reinstatement for the 2026-2027 season. So the OHL got this one right, in my opinion. So
absolutely agreed.
Good on them.
Yep.
All right, to the live draft, Colin Ward. A little bit late getting to it, so apologize to all the viewers and listeners out there. But yeah, fiery episode last week, and we went a little bit longer than usual. So this one, we were okay to let it slide to this week. But the OHL, of course, announcing that the in-person draft will be returning for the first time in a long time, and it'll be in Kingston in 2026. Now, we do have a clip for you from the press conference from OHL Commissioner Brian Crawford, and here it is for you.
One of the primary things that we're tasked with doing is growing the game, right? And growing the game of hockey takes place in a lot of different forms, and one of those ways is building events and properties and assets that the league has that exposes it to more people, that engages more people in new and meaningful ways. And we've started to try to do some of those things, introducing changes to our schedule, like rivalry week that was just a few weeks ago, something different in the schedule that creates another reason for people to be engaged in the game. And the draft is an example of of an asset that has so many great touch points with so many different parts of our community. We want the OHL to continue to be, revered as the, ultimate destination for, 16 to 19-year-old young hockey players that are pursuing their goals and aspirations. And we've, long held the top spot, and we need to make sure that we continue to do things that advance, our league and makes it, ensures that it's that premium experience in all aspects. And that starts with hearing your name called and becoming a member of the league, and extends right through all of the years that you are in the league and what we're doing on the player experience side and the other sorts of things. So it's really just part of a kind of a broader mission and mandate for us to advance the league and ensure that it is unequivocally the top development league in the world.
So the biggest thing I take away from that, Colin Ward, and he had mentioned rivalry week, but just another event on the OHL calendar that 15-year-olds circle, and their families all circle 100%. So that they can be in town for it. But also it's another reason for people to be engaged in the league. And the summer can get a little bit long in the junior hockey world. There isn't a ton that goes on throughout the summer. We've got the OHL or the CHL import draft. There's the trade freeze gets lifted for a certain period of time. Other than that, there's not really a ton on the junior hockey schedule in the summertime once everything gets concluded at the Memorial Cup. But it's just another way for fans to be interested in the league, another event for fans to participate in, whether that's just going to the Fan Fest and experiencing in this case the city of Kingston. Yeah. Whether they just go to the draft, that's a possibility as well. So it's just something else that's added to the calendar that fans can engage with the league, engage with their favorite teams. All 20 will be there. Staffs will be there. They're going to have their meetings that week leading up to the draft, which I think is awesome too. You get everybody there for, I don't know, 5-6 days, 4, 5, 6 days, and make it a whole event, a week-long event. So this is awesome. I heard a lot of great things, not only from Brian Crawford, but of course from the Kingston Frontenac's perspective, from the city of Kingston with their tourism department being there. This sounds like it's going to be an awesome event, and
big time.
I would think we're going to try and make an effort to get there and get some content going at the OHL draft this year. I've never been to Kingston except on the train, and even then I was there for 5 minutes because we stopped and kept going. But this is an event that I'm really excited for.
100% agree, right? Like, I think this event's incredible. I think it need to be done. You look at the queue and what they do in this draft. I love their approach, the way they do things. I mean, speaking with Brian Crawford a couple weeks ago in person, and I mean, a lot of good opportunity. The league's really approaching this with the right approach. Open to everything, open to growing. Kingston as a junior hockey market, it's just the Fronts, right? There's no junior C,
right.
There's no junior B, there's no OJ. There's nothing there. It's just the Frontenacs. It's a great opportunity to grow the game in Kingston. Other than the Gales and the Fronts, there's not much there for junior hockey and hockey in general. That is, I think it's a great thing for Kingston. Great tradition, great city, underrated city. I really like that city. I can't wait to see what happens. I think it's going to be cool. I think the best thing is I just hope it's none of those drafts where they get drafted and they do the NHL bubble where they had to walk in. And I know this is different because everyone's actually going to be there and it's going to be in person. I hope it's not like the NHL where the player had to walk into a bubble and talk to the GM for 2 minutes or
God, that was dumb.
Minutes.
Oh man,
that was weird. That was just awkward.
That was dumb.
Some of it was awkward from the general manager's side and the player's side. I hope that's not a thing, but I'm excited. You might see an effect here with the goal horns, the draft songs and stuff. That's an OHL and 60 effect being told to Brian Crawford. I also mentioned to Brian about, I think that the one thing would be cool is in the city, having a little bit of from each team that represents the team, tradition, it would be kind of cool. I don't there's not really a lot of
an alumni.
Yeah, an alumni, an area for that team. Even from little as info on the arena, experience what a game's like at Sleeman Center, host of the Mem Cup this upcoming season, which is cool from the draft. Stuff like that would be kind of cool. People in Kingston don't usually get to go to games in Windsor, so experience a little experience of what it would be like at WFCU Center, kind of what the players are stepping into, the facilities, show off the game, show off the facilities. I mean, look at Oshawa's facility. That would be really cool to see stuff like that. I know that the league really approaches where all the teams are represented and shown they have to offer. And I think that's the best way to grow the game. And I think it would be cool to really go to the max. And I know the league's going to do this, but it'd be cool to go to the max of everything you can possibly take it to, because I'm super excited. I love the in-person draft. I think this is something that needs to be done. I just hope it's more entertaining. And I think that's the one thing that's going to happen. I think it should be entertaining. And I know the Saturdays, it can be long, but I think this will be a lot more exciting, an in-person draft than having to watch a stream on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. And I mean, kind of jogged my brain a little bit as you were going through, what's it like to experience a game in Windsor or, I don't know, Owen Sound or whatever. I wonder if each team gets an intro video, when they're walking up to the stage, or when Brian Crawford says,
on the clock.
I don't know, this team's on the clock. And then a video plays the Kingston Frontenacs finished blah, blah, blah with this record and this place in the Eastern Conference and did this in the playoffs and, something like that, and showed a panorama of the arena, maybe some highlights, with the great Jimmy Gilchrist, some audio from him, right? Something like that. And then
all-time calls.
Obviously you can't, play a video just waiting for a team to come up. It's obviously got to be probably a minute, 2 minutes or so, and then once they come up, you can get into the music and just have their big logo in the back. But yeah, that'd be cool. There's a really good opportunity to do something pretty awesome here, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait. So Before we get to our power rankings, did want to touch on this, and this is courtesy of Colin Ward, but the Windsor Spitfires with their teddy bear toss game this past weekend against the Guelph Storm. It was Windsor 5-1 win, and it's a new record. Minute 33 to let the fur fly, Colin.
Yeah, no, this is pretty cool. They've won 15 games in a row now, 2 on teddy bear toss night. That's neat. Obviously, a local guy scoring the winner. Mentioned before, like I think that this is, first teddy bear toss of the season. One of the most underrated, one of the best traditions in the Ontario Hockey League, CHL, and honestly some AHL East Coast teams as well. It's one of the best traditions that takes place each year. Pay attention to your teams while they get in on the action. It's one of those games that you have to go to. It's neat to see. It's a delay, but it's a well worth delay that everyone's happy about that time of the year. And I have not started my Christmas shop yet, and I keep hearing it every single day.
Man, I have.
Wow, that'd be, Reece. That'd be.
Man,
Elijah keeps giving it to me every day.
Out of the way. We went shopping. This is the first time I've stepped into a Toys R Us in probably like
20 years.
Man, 27, years? 20 years. Like, we never went to Toys R Us. Like, it was, we'd like
wherever I could get a Thomas the Train.
National Sports. Oh, National Sports, man. There's a throwback. I miss National Sports way better than Sport Check.
Me too.
Sport Check sucks.
I got the best baseball bat of my life in National Sports.
Nice.
I got a Marucci for $45 recently. It was the best bat I ever had.
Sweet.
Let a guy on my team use it, and he broke it. Never let anyone use my bat. The worst.
Oh man, that is not good.
The worst.
That is not good.
Yeah,
at
never
all.
let anybody use. I wanted to be a good teammate.
Man.
One time you do it. No,
screw that. I get want to be a good teammate, but nah. Buy your own wood. Like that's I'm with you.
Yeah, no. Like,
let's not do that.
I assume they had their own bat. They just want to try it because man, it was the talk of the town. Like it was one of those bats with like kind of like the knob handle. Like,
what, buying a Marucci is the talk of the town in Norfolk County?
Well, no. Like this was like 15 years ago. Or no, not 15, around 10. But it was sweet. Like it was almost like not a shaved handle, but it was like little tampered. Loved it.
Okay.
It was all at the end of the back. It was all in the sweet spot. I loved it.
But legal. Legal.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then it was someone used it. Never was able to use it. So disappointing.
Horrible.
But love National Sports.
I miss National
so
Sports.
Underrated. Got my football gloves there. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Those were awesome.
That'd be. Let's get to the power rankings here before we wrap things up. Coming in at number 16, down a spot, the Brampton Steelheads. Up 1 to number 15 are the Saginaw Spirit. North Bay Battalion, do not move. They are number 14. Niagara Ice Dogs down 1 to number 13. Guelph Storm down 2 to number 12. Kingston down 2 to number 11. Peterborough up 3 to number 10. Barrie Colts move up a couple spots. They're number 9. Owen Sound and Kitchener do not move. Owen Sound is 8. Kitchener is 7. Sault Ste. Marie and London both move down 2 spots. London 5, Sault 6. Flint and Windsor both move up 2 spots. Flint is 4, Windsor is 3. Ottawa and Brantford do not move. The 67s are number 2. Brantford Bulldogs remain at number 1. Colin Ward, you can kick things off. Who is your number 5 ranked team this week on your power rankings?
Number 5 for me, points in the last 12, the Barrie Colts. I think Barrie climbs back in. St. Marie drops out of the 5 spot from last week for me. Barrie comes up this week with the streak they're on.
Yep. Yeah, I've got the Barrie Colts at number 5 as well. You're right. It's tough to argue with points in 12 in a row. Power play is good. Penalty kills about average or so, but they've been rolling and they've taken control of that Central Division. So it's Barrie's. I think we've both flipped to the opinion that it's probably Barrie's to lose at this point, unless something drastically changes, because they look like the best team by far in that Central Division.
Yeah, that was my division pick. I like Barrie. I think that Barrie's going to be good. I don't know what they're going to win, but I think they'll win the division. I think, like, you look at that team, their line is going to be interesting too. What team in that division wants to buy division title, I guess it'll be. But Barry's solid. They look.
Yeah. Barry now 8 points ahead of the Niagara Ice Dogs and 6 points ahead of the North Bay Battalion. So they're number 5 for both of us. Who's number 4?
4 for me, the Windsor Spitfires. I think Windsor's 4. I think there's 2 teams other than Brantford right now that are worthy of being in the top 3. Can change each week, but I think it speaks for themselves.
Yeah, I agree. Windsor's been good, but not awesome compared to these other 2. I'm with you. Yeah, Windsor number 4 for me as well. Last week I had kind of tried to justify myself that, you're still 17-5, 2-1. I mean, it's hard to argue with that when your power play is at 28.7 and your penalty kills at 85.4. But one team's won 9 in a row, and it's the other team is 8-1 and 0-1. So, yeah, I mean, Windsor, good team. Don't get me wrong. I think they've got to do something. But they're down to number 4 for me as well. Who's number 3?
3 for me, the Ottawa 67s, who dropped from 1 to 3. Obviously, they lose their last game, but the team that's going to go second is just, you're not going to have them in the top 2, not top 1 at this rate that they're clicking at. To me, the Ottawa 67s are the 3rd team right now, and they're 3rd on my power rankings.
Yeah, for me also. We're identical this week, Colin Ward. And I mean, the Flint Firebirds have a game in hand on Ottawa. Not that means anything in November. They're in different conferences. It means absolutely nothing. But I look at it that way. I mean, the one thing that kind of brought me back to Ottawa being number 2 was the fact they've only given up 59 goals. But with the power plays essentially being the same, I look at the penalty kill as a big category in this situation. And Flint has a way better penalty kill than the Ottawa 67s do. So that's what has Ottawa at 3 for me. Number 2, I probably just gave it away. Who you got, Colin?
Flint Firebirds, they won 9 in a row. They're the hottest team right now, and barely. I mean, Ottawa blew it. Ottawa was my number 1 team last week, so I'm gonna have a new back to my old number 1 team this week. But Flint to me, number 2.
Yep.
9 games in a row is impressive.
Yeah, it really is. And then I'm not going to say anything different than Colin, so I'll go with number 1 for both of us. It's the Brantford Bulldogs at number 1 for both of us. They have a couple impressive victories over the weekend. Technically week because it was Thursday, Friday, not Saturday, Sunday. But last week in the OHL, it was the Brantford Bulldogs winning 5-0 in Niagara and then 7-2 over the Sarnia Sting on home ice. The Brantford Bulldogs looked back to normal, and they get a big boost with Jett Luchanko joining the lineup.
100%. That's one of those things, too. That last week I had them down. I didn't think they were playing their best hockey. And then this week they gave it back to me. So they answered my questions. They're 1 for sure.
They got mad at Colin Ward, so they had to go get a couple of victories.
I hope so. I hope that was the case.
Yeah. So those are our power rankings for this week. Feel free to shoot us a message, whether it be at the OHL in 60 podcast, whether it be on our personals. Michigan bye week against Ohio State this week. Absolutely. At the Big House,
because they're not going to show up, Brandon.
Kickoff in Ann Arbor,
They're not going to show up.
Let's go blue.
What is that?
Hail to the victors, valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail to Michigan, the leaders and best. Ohio State fans can spell. Holy crap.
Can you give me a OH? OH.
Do you have a cricket sound, Brandon?
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Hey, Brandon, can you play the
national
championship? Play the national championship from last year. Play the national championship from last year.
Play from 2 years ago.
Yeah, show the cameras. Where's Jim Harbaugh right now? Where's Connor Stallions right now? Oh, yeah. All right, we'll see you next week.
Okay, I don't even know how to respond to that. Man, it's hilarious. Last little tidbit for the end of the week. You know how Michigan State had to vacate wins? One of them being against Central Michigan when Stallions was on the sidelines.
Wild.
How funny is that?
I wonder why Michigan State doesn't like Michigan.
Oh, go Blue. Michigan State sucks. Not a real football program. Their stadium sucks too. Just ask Mike Valenti. But yeah, let's go Blue. Big game this week. Michigan, Ohio State, Saturday, big noon kickoff. I can't even watch it. I got a Brantford Titans game at 1. I can't even watch it. It sucks. Wow. I'm going to be giving updates in the arena. Watch this. What's on the line? Oh, Colin's got to wear my Michigan hat, and I got to wear his Ohio State hat.
I've never heard of this before.
We said that at the start of the month.
Okay. All right.
On our show when we both wore the hats.
Perfect. Can't wait. How are we going to do that? We recording live?
Well, no. I'll just bring your hat Saturday to the Kitchener-Brantford game.
Okay, perfect. Then you can wear it. I'll bring it.
And the loser has to wear it on the show next week.
Got to wear it for the game.
Okay. I don't know. Sure.
Got to interview. I don't want to get too Bulldog-centric, but got to interview Edison Engel or Cooper Dennis.
So then
ask about how good they are.
Does that mean the loser has to? So let's say Ohio State wins, which isn't going to happen. Do I have to interview Engel and then
tell him about how good they
wins? You got to interview Cooper Dennis
about how good they are.
All right, we can do that too. All right,
that'd be hilarious.
Wearing the hat, sure. Let's do it.
Yep, wearing the hat.
And then the other person's got to videotape it.
Perfect.
Put it on social media. All right. Perfect. Let's go.
And then after, you either got to say go Bucks or go whatever the team up north is.
Go Blue?
Yeah, that team. But no, I hope guys play. For Ohio State. Like I said, it's just another exhibition game for the Buckeyes. They're in the playoff.
Just like the last 4 exhibition games.
Yeah, right? I mean, hey, they won a national championship, right? Like they won 6 in the top 10 last year. Like that's tough to do. But not ideal. Obviously, it'd be nice to get to the Big Ten championship game for sure, and then you don't have to worry about having to win 6 games in the top 10 en route to a national championship. But I hope guys play. I do, but we'll see.
Bryce Underwood's going off. I'm calling it. That's it for this week's show.
Julian's saying Heisman game. Doesn't he have 9 touchdowns on the year passing?
I'd have to look. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to look.
It's a lot of money.
But, oh well. Michigan's got it. It's okay. I can't even watch that. I'm working Thursday, American Thanksgiving. That sucks. But,
Broncos Sunday Night Football.
Lions will probably lose anyway, so that's kind of funny. Go Steelers. But everybody, thanks so much for tuning into the show this week, whether you watched us on YouTube on the Armchair GM Sports Network or you listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. We appreciate it every single week. So for BC, for Colin Ward, I'm Reece Doumani. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's edition of the OHL in 60 podcast, and we will chat again in 7 days.
You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.